Hello. In today's video, I will share with you another case that happened in Japan. A high school girl was returning home to rest after school when suddenly a stranger broke into her house, leading to a tragic incident. Because the case lacked many clues, it was very difficult to solve, and there was no progress even after 10 years of investigation. This is considered a case with a major impact on Japanese youth, attracting significant public attention. It is the case of a high school girl in Hiroshima Prefecture in 2004. The crime took place in Hiroshima Prefecture, Japan, an area rich in natural resources. Agriculture and fishing here are highly developed, and the region is often considered a miniature of Japan. In the southwest of Hiroshima Prefecture lies a small town called Hatsukaichi City, an important timber port in Japan with a population of 110,000. And the story told today took place right here. The main character is 17-year-old Satomi Kitaguchi, a student at Hatsukaichi High School in Hiroshima Prefecture. Satomi's family lived in the Kamihira area of Hatsukaichi City in a detached house. On the left was the main building, and on the right was an annex. The two sides were connected to each other. Satomi's family consisted of 5 people: her father, mother, grandmother Satomi, and her older sister. Later, Satomi had a younger sister and the family lived very happily there. However, on October 5, 2004, a disaster struck their family. So what happened, and what misfortune did Satomi encounter that day? Next, let's step back in time to October 5, 2004. October 5, 2004 was a Tuesday. Early in the morning, as usual, Satomi cycled from her home to school. That day was a bit special. Normally, she would be at school all day, but since it was an exam day, she was dismissed early and had the afternoon off. At 1 p.m., Satomi returned home. At that time, her parents were out at work, and only her grandmother and younger sister were in the house watching TV in the first-floor living room. After entering the house, Satomi greeted them and sat down to have lunch by herself. After finishing lunch, Satomi felt a bit sleepy, so she went to her room. Her room was not in the main building where the living room was, but on the second floor of the adjacent annex. Although the two sides were connected, there was a significant distance between the rooms. She was scheduled to go to her part-time job at 5 p.m., so she quickly lay down on her bed to listen to music and rest. At 3 p.m., while the grandmother and younger sister were enjoying TV in the first-floor living room, they suddenly heard a desperate scream from the upstairs of the annex. It was clearly Satomi's voice. Hearing the piercing scream, the grandmother and sister rushed to the second floor to investigate, making their way to Satomi's room. The door was ajar and unlocked. When they opened it, they were stunned by the sight. Satomi lay motionless on the floor next to her bed, covered in blood. Even more terrifying, a strange man was standing right next to Satomi. The man was about 20 years old with short hair, holding a knife. Seeing this, the grandmother and sister were paralyzed with fear. Terrified, the younger sister ran downstairs, bolted out of the house, and hid in a garden shop 50 meters away, crying and repeating to the owner, "My sister was stabbed. My sister was stabbed." Satomi's grandmother, trembling with fear, turned to flee. But seeing someone at the door, the short-haired man froze for a few seconds before tightening his grip on the knife and stabbing her 4 times in the back, causing her to collapse. The man then rushed out of the house and fled. Although the grandmother had been stabbed multiple times, no vital organs were hit. Exhausted, she managed to sit up and tried to save her granddaughter lying nearby, but it was in vain. Suddenly, she thought of Satomi's younger sister, wondering if the man had harmed her as well. Clutching her wounds and enduring the pain, she made her way back to the first-floor living room, called the police, and then collapsed unconscious. Upon receiving the report, the police immediately dispatched forces to the scene with patrol cars and ambulances arriving shortly after. Upon entering, they first found the elderly woman on the floor next to the telephone on the first floor and rushed her to the hospital for emergency care. In the second-floor bedroom, they found Satomi in a pool of blood with no signs of life. Forensic examination revealed 10 stab wounds. The fatal one was near her heart, and her body had not been sexually assaulted. The police then surveyed the terrain near Satomi's home. If the killer fled after the crime, he could have hidden in nearby houses or escaped across the river. If he left the city, he could have escaped in many directions, making him difficult to track. The police quickly began searching for witnesses and conducting door-to-door investigations among nearby residents. Unfortunately, the incident occurred at 3 p.m. when there were very few pedestrians on the street, and no one saw anyone running out of Satomi's house. Consequently, the police were unable to determine the suspect's escape route, which posed a significant obstacle to solving the case. At that time, Satomi's grandmother was rushed to the intensive care unit of a local hospital, and thanks to timely emergency treatment, she miraculously survived. Simultaneously, evidence collection at the crime scene was underway, and the police successfully extracted an unidentified fingerprint from the site. The fingerprint did not belong to anyone in the family, suggesting it was likely left by the suspect. On the floor of Satomi's bedroom, police collected several shoe prints of the same size believed to have been left by the killer during his hasty escape. Based on the prints, they identified the corresponding brand and style of the shoe with a size between 26 and 27 centimeters. Skin fragments were found under Satomi's fingernails. After extracting the DNA, the police concluded it belonged to the perpetrator. Although the police found this critical evidence, solving the case remained difficult based on those clues alone. Fortunately, Satomi's grandmother and sister had seen the killer's face. During questioning, they stated they remembered the murderer's appearance very clearly. Therefore, the police successfully drew a composite sketch of the man based on the descriptions provided by the sister and grandmother. The man was described as having short hair, narrow eyes, prominent acne on his face, a sturdy build, standing about 1.65 meters tall, and being around 20 years old. After the portrait was drawn, the Hiroshima Prefectural Police became more confident. They believed that once the person in the portrait was identified, combined with the shoe prints, fingerprints, DNA, and other evidence from the scene, the killer would surely be found immediately. Thus, the police showed the sketch to Satomi's family, neighbors, classmates, and nearby pedestrians to see if anyone could recognize him. Unfortunately, no one recognized him, causing the investigation to hit a stalemate. Little Satomi was so young when she left this world. This caused the family immense pain, but what hurt even more was that the suspect could not be found. No one had seen him. He had disappeared without a trace, as if he had evaporated. Satomi's parents had saved 3 million yen for her future tuition, but no one expected such a misfortune to occur. Her father felt deep sorrow and anger. He vowed never to forgive the murderer. Consequently, he used the entire 3 million yen originally intended for tuition as a reward for anyone who could provide a useful clue. Reward posters were plastered in every nook and cranny, crowded areas, and police stations across the country. As a result, more and more people became aware of Satomi's case. Despite the limited clues, the Hiroshima Prefectural Police did not give up investigating more than 40,000 people over the following 10 years. Time passed, and the killer remained at large beyond the reach of the law. Satomi's father also set up his own website and kept a diary, updating it almost every day and writing persistently for over a decade. He wrote about his feelings and revealed the latest developments in the case, totaling over 4,000 diary entries during that time. He missed his daughter every day and hoped that one day he could find the killer and bring justice to his poor daughter. 11 years after the incident in 2015, the Hiroshima Prefectural Police invited experts from other prefectures, including an investigative team from the United States called the BAU Behavioral Analysis Unit. This is the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit established to use scientific behavioral analysis to support criminal investigations. The unit has helped solve many cases. The investigative team re-examined the crime scene and re-interviewed several neighbors. After a comprehensive analysis through criminal psychology, they concluded that the killer did not initially intend to murder Satomi, but certain events occurred that led him to commit the act. Based on the police sketch and modern technology, they reconstructed the suspect's appearance 11 years after the crime. Compared to previous portraits, the computer-generated one was more likely to resemble the suspect. It was also noted that the shape of human eyes rarely changes significantly with age. However, even with the support of BAU experts, the case still saw no progress. Just when everyone thought this decade-long cold case would never be solved, something unbelievable happened in April 2018. That day, the Yamaguchi Prefectural Police in Japan received a call. The caller claimed to be an employee of a construction company in Yamaguchi. His boss had kicked him in the buttocks after losing his temper, leading to a scuffle, and he wanted the police to intervene. Consequently, the police arrived at the construction company. The boss who kicked the man was 35-year-old Manabu Kashima, a long-term employee of the construction company who had worked there for 10 years. Due to some work-related conflicts, he lost his temper and kicked his subordinate who felt wronged and called the police for help. Everyone was afraid, but no one dared to report it. The worker decided to speak up only after being forcefully kicked by Kashima. It was a minor dispute, and after police mediation, both parties accepted a reconciliation. However, following standard procedure, the police still had to file a report and take statements. When preparing to take fingerprints, Kashima showed clear signs of anxiety and unease which caught the officer's attention. After entering the fingerprints into the database for comparison, the results showed they were an exact match for the suspect who murdered Satomi 14 years earlier. Manabu Kashima lived in Ube City, Yamaguchi Prefecture, which is located right on the edge of Hiroshima Prefecture. The distance from Ube City to Hatsukaichi City is about 100 kilometers, making it entirely plausible that he was the perpetrator. Kashima was 35 at the time. 14 years earlier, he was 21, matching the age description of around 20 provided by Satomi's grandmother and sister. Believing Kashima was suspected of a serious felony, the Yamaguchi police arrested him and handed him over to the Hiroshima Prefectural Police. The owner of the construction company where Kashima worked was shocked by the news, remarking that Kashima never missed work and had a very good work attitude. Kashima's boss never imagined that an employee who had worked for his company for 10 years could have done something so insane. One could say, you may know a person's face but not their heart. Thinking back, it's quite frightening. The case went to trial in March 2020. When Kashima was first arrested, he refused to admit to the crimes he had committed. However, faced with solid evidence such as fingerprints and DNA, he finally confessed to the heinous crime he had committed over a decade ago. He stated that he and Satomi did not know each other. In 2004, Kashima worked at a metal processing company in Hagi City and lived alone in a dormitory near his workplace. After enduring long-term work pressure with no outlet, Kashima suddenly wanted to leave everything behind and go to Akihabara, Tokyo. On his way to Tokyo, he passed through Hiroshima. While standing by the road, Kashima saw Satomi returning from school. Since it was noon and the streets were very quiet, he decided to follow her home, looking for an opportunity to rape her. After observing, he decided to break into Satomi's house and rushed to her room on the second floor. When Satomi resisted fiercely, he became enraged and swung his knife, committing the crime. His defense lawyer stated the crime was a result of Kashima's long-term accumulated work pressure. The lawyer also argued that he had no premeditated intent to kill Satomi, and that it was a tragedy caused by impulse, hoping for a light sentence from the court. On March 18, 2020, the Hiroshima Prefectural Court delivered its verdict. The judge stated that the perpetrator, who had remained at large for a long time, was finally caught. He had caused profound pain to the victim's family and had a negative impact on society. Ultimately, Kashima was sentenced to life imprisonment for murder. To date, this famous Japanese case has finally been successfully resolved. For Satomi's long-suffering family, there is finally a glimmer of light after the trial. Satomi's father wrote on his blog, "I'm sorry for I could not protect you." The story ends here. Justice has finally arrived, though late. To this day, Satomi's father continues to update his thoughts, still feeling a sense of guilt toward his daughter. The feeling of losing a loved one is truly painful, and in Satomi's case, the brutality of the perpetrator made the pain immeasurable. Finally, I hope Satomi's father and family can overcome that pain as soon as possible to happily face the beautiful life out there once more. I believe this is what Satomi would want. See you in the next case. Goodbye.